find ourselves with our daughters today. This is kind of cool.
Yes, we've made a special invitation to have them come and have a conversation with us. We really appreciate it too. So this is my daughter, Cynthia, Cindy.
Cindy, yes.
Cindy. Oh, isn't there a song, Cindy?
No.
Oh, yes, there is.
There isn't.
There is.
And-
And this is my daughter, Teresa. No, there's no Teresa songs.
There's no Teresa songs.
Because I'm liable to go off and song any minute.
I know, I've seen you do it.
Well, it's so good that you joined us today, and we're just going to have a kind of conversation between the generations here, and we appreciate your following us and hope you will subscribe so that, hey, you always will get this, and we're going to be adding guests as we go along, and so we invite you to, be a part of our podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, when we, we're sitting here with the Brookfield Highlands where we live, and we're enjoying this. And this is part of our conversation, I think, that we'll be talking about, is because it's kind of a first time for Angie and I being on our own when we moved into these apartments. And so, Cindy, what did you think about your mom moving into these apartments, and were you part of that decision when she moved here?
Yes, in fact, she talked about possibly buying another house
Yeah.
at 79 years old. And, we checked out a couple of different places. She thought about condos. And when she found this place, I thought, what a great place to end up with people.
Are we ending here?
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
After living in a house and losing
Yeah.
your husbands
Yeah.
and, being alone, what a great community. I mean, this is a fantastic community, and I am so glad that you chose to take your apartment here.
Really, we are loving it, and I guess it's for people who want to be active or whatever. It's good to be around others
people.
that you can instantly have activities and such, and that's how Donna and I met, and we have another friend that is just we
Yes.
do all kinds of things together.
We drive her nuts, I'm pretty sure. That's what
But
we do.
I'm sure you all kind of thought, well, now what are the moms going to do with their lives? Because it is different. You're saying, okay, I'm entering a different time of my life. What am I going to do with myself? You kind of lose your identity from where you were and in a new place and everything.
Well, meeting new friends. So, agreed with you, Cindy. When my mom decided to move out here after our dad passed, we were concerned because she's never lived alone.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been caretaking, and caretaking after my dad for so many years with his illness,
Which was the same with Angie,
Yeah.
too.
right. You worry about the fact that, living life after caretaking, and that's a real important thing for the elder, as they go through their life, someone ultimately, you lose your spouse or whatever, but, it's like, will mom be okay?
Yeah.
That was our biggest thing, will mom be okay?
And I can remember my
Clearly,
granddaughter
look
saying,
at my mother, she is
It's
okay.
Only
but,
is operative.
Yeah.
but being with people, your peers, right,
Yeah.
is so important.
Yes.
And the friendship that you guys have and the things that you've done and the things you're doing is nothing but amazing. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And the truth is, not to interrupt
Yeah.
you, but Angie and I people think we've known each other for 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
But we've
Right.
only known each other for 4 years.
4 years,
But
yeah.
it's because of being here at the Highlands,
Right.
really, that
Which is a
we
beautiful
met.
facility,
You know,
I have
and
to say.
can remember just Angie coming in the door. Well, first of all, when we moved in here, my granddaughter kept saying, I'll stay here the night with you. And I'm going, no, I don't want you to stay here the night with me. And Sammy kept saying that, And I said, well, because I really wanted to give it a try. But she was so worried about me because I'd never been alone, really,
Right.
in life.
Well, as you said, Teresa, the caretaking of their, sick husbands, and even before that, I think, being married, especially with your generation, you tend to just gravitate towards each other rather than have a really wide,
Right.
social network.
Yes.
And so I was concerned with you being alone. I felt you needed to make friends, and this was the best place to do it, living amongst people, like-minded people. So
Yeah, I even suggested to Cindy, well, I can come and live with you.
that wasn't
She said,
going
no,
to work.
that's not gonna happen, Mother.
No.
we could build a little extension out of your house or something,
No.
Oh, wow.
I did entertain it. I mean, I thought it through.
That's right, she did.
But you wanted her to have friends.
Oh yeah, right. Like if
It's
she lived
because
with
your
me-
life isn't over. Just
Right.
because
No.
you lose a spouse or a loved
Yes.
one,
Yes.
your life isn't over. And that is so important. And I think a lot of us have learned that,
Yeah.
because, you've gone through so many years, you've raised the kids, you got grandkids, so now what are we going to do? Well, you're here and look at you now.
Right.
Look at the things you guys
Do
love
we
your
embarrass you?
art. Well, not at all. I love it.
My mother always embarrassed me. Just kidding.
No, she isn't.
I mean, just to see you, happy and laughing and not worried, and I need to go to the store, but I can only be there for 20 minutes because of this, because of, with Dad, and that's years and years and years of that. And when you get to the point where you don't have to caretake anymore,
It's a really good feeling, let me tell you.
it's a good
Yes.
feeling. It's a sad feeling, because you've had so many years together. It's sad, and I think that's what can bring people down. Is
Yes.
because how do I do that? People are like, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give up. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to sit in my house. Well, you guys are a true testament right here, right now, that there is life after caretaking. So live it, embrace it.
Well, and doesn't life have many different phases anyway?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
We're
Yeah.
young. We have we get married. We have a family. We either get divorced or our spouse passes away, and every phase has its own really enriching opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think you
It
guys
does.
in your
Yes.
80s are. I'm sitting in a room full of artwork.
Right.
And
And if we were at your mother's, you'd be sitting
I'd
in the
be
same
sitting
room.
in a room full of artwork, and I go
Yeah.
home and I'm
Yeah.
sitting in a room full of artwork,
Yeah.
But sometimes I wonder, and Teresa, I don't know about you, but, and I'm in my earlier 60s, don't you wonder where the energy comes from sometimes? Because I'm like, wow, I'm not sure even I could do that right now. You know?
I think it's a choice. I think their energy is a choice. So what my mother has always said to all of us kids is, if something is going on, you can sit and give me the "oh woe's me" attitude.
Yeah.
Or you can do something about it.
Absolutely.
And
It's
so
your
that's
choice.
it's our
Be
choice.
happy.
So and that's kind of the way I live my life. It's my choice. I choose to be happy.
Yes.
Sure, have I been knocked down a few times
Yeah.
with different things in life? Of course.
Of
but
course.
but you fight through it, and you can sit there
Absolutely.
and cry about it. But why?
It doesn't do anything other
Right.
than depress a person more.
Right.
know?
And
And-
both of you actually have had bouts with cancer,
We have.
and
Yeah.
so you had to make up your mind
Bouts
at that
back,
time,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
How was your feeling on that?
Well, it was really difficult. My kids were 5 and 7 years
that's
old,
young.
and I lost all my hair, and it was kind of it was
Beautiful
very,
now, by
thank
the
you.
way. I'd give anything for your crop of hair.
It was a very visible illness, in
Yeah.
that I did
You
lose all
looked
my hair.
different.
It looked different,
Yeah.
yeah. And but you're right. You have to just keep pushing on, and life isn't over even after a cancer diagnosis.
That's
So,
right. It's not.
I mean, plenty of people survive, and
Yes.
it's very similar to when you're older and your spouse dies. You survive. You have
Yes.
those survival instincts
Yes.
to do something to make yourself happy. And quite honestly, I don't know about you, Teresa, but when my mom's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah. because
Right.
it makes you happy.
Exactly.
And so, as
Right.
funny as that sounds,
Yeah.
that, you know, when we know that you're enjoying your life
Yes.
and you're happy,
And
I
you
know
worry less.
Angie and
You
I
don't have to worry
with the
that
girls,
Exactly.
what
all
is
going out
mother
to
doing?
lunch.
Yeah, she's sitting at home being
Doing
depressed.
nothing.
Or
Yeah.
is she? No, she's sorry, can't get a hold of her.
Right. I mean, I
She's
talk to my mom every day
She
on the way to
does,
every day. Every single day on my
Yeah.
way to work in the morning at 6:40, I
Yeah,
call
you
my
do.
mother.
Mhm.
And
text.
sometimes, do you?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that. Well,
Yeah.
I've got 5 kids.
Yeah, when we're always talking to mom, but it's like some days she'll be like, "Wow, you really got it going on today. You have a
Right.
full day.
Yeah, well,
You know,
somebody will
lunch,
say the same
dinner,
thing. She'll say,
this, movie, wine."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I know. You went out.
I'm like, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Me
I think it's
too.
great. I want to
Me
be
too.
just like my mama.
Me too.
well, I think more mature people like us, I mean, we don't want to worry our families, and we don't want to, put them on the spot. So
Right.
we just have to take care of yourself, or say, okay, I've not done this, but I'm going to learn to do this because I should be independent in some way.
Right, and a lot of people don't at our age. Can't even use a phone or anything. You guys are lucky. We can at least text you.
I know.
Yes.
Getting a
And
smartphone
we
was
don't
the
know
best thing ever.
And we
Yes.
don't know
Buy a
everything.
smartphone.
I tell all my old people. I mean, we both know a lot of old people.
Yeah, old
Yeah.
people.
That's it.
Of
But
course.
they refuse. Hey, we know some young people.
I
too.
know
we do.
But no, they don't. They refuse. A lot of people, don't you think, Angie? They refuse to get into this world because
Right.
they say, "Well, I don't know how to do that."
Yeah, right. Or I don't have. You want people to get involved with something, to have fun in their lives, and say, "Oh, I can't paint, I can't write, I can't do this, I can't."
Yeah.
It's always a can't thing.
Right. Well, you got a smartphone, an iPhone, when you were 79.
I know.
You
I
know,
know. I never
and
had
you
one.
learned how to
Yeah.
how to use it.
So people can.
But your
Yeah,
mother
so
has
that's
a,
the point.
That's the point.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
they,
don't
they
say you
can't.
Right.
They
You
say
can.
I can't. It's like anything. I mean,
It's an easy way out.
Yes.
I can remember when I first met Angie. She kept saying, "Well, you're an artist." I kept saying, "No, I'm not. I like to paint, but I don't call
know,
my."
and then I saw your paintings, and I'm like, "What is she talking
Yeah,
about?"
right. She's an artist.
But it's your mom that actually brought that out in me. She's my mentor. I always call her my mentor because you are very good at that. She's always had this
Thank you for
positive
that.
attitude. Well, and I've needed that in my life because,
Yes.
and I think I grew since I've been here. And then she said she's a writer, and it made me think, gosh, I used to write. Remember, I used to do all kinds of poems. So then
Right.
she brought that out in me too.
Yes.
So I thought, well, I can do that. What I didn't know. So, I mean, I'm just starting to live my life. I'm 80. I need another 25 years or so to get
to
done.
get all this stuff done. I know.
And you will.
Keep yourself
Thank
healthy.
you, Angie, for doing that for me because I do believe you've been extremely the positive place that I needed to have someone encourage me. Yeah.
Well, and then you guys rented a studio
do.
together.
Yeah,
Go
right.
in and paint
We
and do
have
their
one.
artwork.
They do.
In
More
an
paintings
art
there.
studio.
And the funny thing with that is we don't always talk to each other there. You would think, oh, these two women are blabbering
Right.
back and
Yeah.
forth.
No,
But that
you're there
doesn't
to do something.
We're there and we have Alexa.
Yeah.
She plays for us.
Yes.
Music.
See, technology.
Technology. Right. And we like the same kind of,
Yeah.
genre. Genre? Is that
Genre.
genre?
Genre.
Genre. Yeah.
Yes.
And so we, that
Yeah.
works. And you'll hear us, we may sing together. Doesn't sound too good, but we
no.
do.
But you're happy and you're having fun.
Yes. Well,
You're
you know,
happy and it's out your heads. Right?
friendships are so important, and I'm realizing that even in my own life. So I'm still working full time, and will be for probably 3 more years. And
Wow, already? You're that close?
yeah,
You look marvelous,
Oh,
by the way. You do.
thank you. Yeah, now I lost my train of thought from that compliment. But I've gone through phases in my life where I've had really significant close friendships, and then life gets busy, and then we fall away from each other. And just lately, I've been picking up some friendships
Oh,
and
that's
going out
good.
to dinner
And you should.
and
You need
talk.
to do that.
But you know, that part, women to women, is so important.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Right,
So
and then we do it
important.
quite often,
Yeah.
spur of the moment,
But
actually.
you didn't have those kinds
No.
of friendships
No, I
before
didn't.
you moved here.
No, I didn't.
At all.
That's
and
right, I was
so-
a busy bee.
Yeah, and going home to dad, and then the
Right.
caretaking at the
Yes.
end, and
No, that is I never thought of that is true. I mean, you had a lot of acquaintances, but they weren't,
they weren't close friends like
friends
you
where
have
we could
now.
say anything we want to each
Right,
other,
right,
and you're
right.
not going to be judged in any way.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, that's so beautiful.
I know, it is.
I think we both though kind of had, both of us were kind of in a business that kind of lent itself to that. People, I don't know.
Not having friends, or
Yeah,
having,
in a way, not.
I think it's a little bit generational.
Yeah,
myself.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just busy.
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 I mean,
Yeah, when
with
you're raising
kids
kids and,
Right.
and doing stuff. you
Well,
know.
it's nice to have someone to talk to that's not your family.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
then, you know, the venting can
Yeah,
happen.
good.
Or
Lord knows we need that.
Well, there's just some things you don't say to your family.
right,
Well,
right.
But that's why
Defending
old
yourself.
women need old women in their lives.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know. We're not telling you.
Well,
No, right.
let's keep it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. As I don't want to know about you.
Let me
as
just
you
find
don't.
out
they
myself.
let some things go too. You
Well,
know.
sometimes we're all together, all the boys, and the boys are talking about the day they ran out and did this and did that. I'm going, you what?
That's exactly right.
Teresa danced
Not
on tables.
Oh,
I'm not saying
I was a
anything.
good kid.
You
Oh,
were a good kid.
I was perfect.
fish.
I never got into any trouble. How about you, Teresa?
Not at all.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, that's what they tell
That
us.
we know of.
Oh yeah.
We know that can't be true because you're our daughters.
Right. Right.
And, you know, with our podcast here, we want to encourage people our age, or I mean, because we really are, we're kind of got our target audience, that they should try some new things in their life. I mean, they're not, maybe not a podcast or something like this, you know, it's kind of maybe overwhelming, but there might be just something some activity you can revive that you used to do,
Right.
or some hobby that you learned. Even Cindy's learning how to paint, so.
I am.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
I have the whole area set up, and now I just have to get the motivation to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have as much time
I don't.
either.
So
Right.
I don't.
Right.
It's-
They're working women,
Yes.
Mhm.
which is nice, you know, because, you know, when we were younger, that's what we always aspired to. Oh, we'd like to go to work and get ourselves a career or something.
I'm like, when can I stop working?
See, in our day, I mean, we had to ask permission from our husbands.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Right,
let's
I
just
know.
not even go
But
there.
it's
I mean,
true.
yeah, I know.
And that was
How
the
it was,
world.
That
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
the way it was, you know, and that was the way that you know, men and women responded to each other, and
I don't know. I can't tell you it's good or bad. I mean, I do look at the world sometimes and think, but who knows? We have our own, the way we work. It's the way
Different
we work.
generation, right?
Yeah.
Different generations. So I'm a generation after you, and I think that's where it all kind of changed,
Yes, it
really.
did.
Right.
But kids, you know, the baby boomers, and we
Yeah.
were
Right.
very independent, and who knows? It's probably why I'm not married anymore, but.
Maybe, maybe not.
And
Just
who knows? Who knows? But
The
thinking
right
of
person.
asking permission
is
doesn't enter my mind very often.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not that I need to now, but
Yeah.
still, it's just a different way. You know, the '70s were the women's movement, and
Right.
I always knew I'd go to college, and you know that I would have a career, whereas you didn't.
no, but you know, I always kind of aspired to it, and I think Donna's the same way. And there's something that you wanted. You have some kind of ability that you thought if you could just expand it, you'd be
Yes.
successful. You know.
Yes.
And that you'd be recognized, you know, for yourself. Like when I
Right,
moved up
right.
here, I lost all my identity because I wasn't working
Yes.
down there. I wasn't with the people that I knew down there, and they knew me. So it was like, establishing a whole new personality.
And there were, I can remember you feeling down and not exactly happy at the beginning because you didn't know what it was you were supposed to do now.
Yes,
This is true.
right.
Yeah, I think that is, and we see that around us.
But the
You
good
know.
thing is you didn't just keep going down that path.
Exactly.
Right.
So the
Well-
thing is that you guys found friendship and you built on it and you realized how much you have in common. And
Yeah.
look at what you guys have been doing through the
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
which is
And I really
outstanding.
encouraged you to find friends. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, she did.
But I
She
was
did.
like, Mom, you have to find girlfriends. You have to
Mhm.
find women friends. That will sustain you.
And to pull on your point there, a lot of people when they're older, that's real hard for them. Because you aren't. I see that happening. Somebody say, "Well, no, they're not friendly." Well, they're not friendly because you're not friendly. I mean,
Right. You have to
you
need
have
each
to.
other.
The
Right, you have to-
interaction,
sometimes you have to go out of yourself
Mhm.
to be, and you probably just you know that now because you're trying to make friends, and you're the one that probably now is going, okay, I have to
I
be.
need more friends.
Yeah, I need more friends, and what am I going to do about that?
Right.
So
Yeah, how do you meet?
But
Because we all have doubts about, well, geez, I really would have to put myself out, and you're not necessarily going to move to a new place. I mean, a
yeah,
lot of our viewers are living alone in their homes, and
if you can get out yet, get
Right.
out. That would be the thing.
I probably don't get out as much as I should.
Well, you're so busy thinking.
That's a good one.
She
Yes.
does.
That's all she does.
Yeah. You think too much. Yeah, that's what Cindy tells me.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Mom, you just think
Stop
too
it.
much.
That's the advantage of being a non-thinker.
we just blurt stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you always, for us as we get older, we think, well, we have a lot of wisdom to share,
Mhm.
with our daughters, our granddaughters, our sons, and
We keep telling him that.
yeah.
We have wisdom.
But they're giving us also advice. So it's like, sometimes you feel like, well, am I still the mom here?
But I
That's a
have
different-
wisdom too.
That's
Yes.
exactly right.
And I'm only 20 years younger than you.
That's
it's,
true.
It's when you think about those age
Yeah.
differences. Is it really all that much? Or
No.
we are different generations, but I've really enjoyed this time with my mom with you being so close here,
Mhm.
and the fact that we can have really intimate conversations, and just between the two of us.
Yeah. And I think daughters really need that. Guys, not so much. I
Right.
don't think, because you have brothers too. You both have brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing. Living with the boys, I guess.
Right, and I like to get deep,
Yeah.
Yes,
we
that's
have
right.
Very
We do
deep
too.
Yeah.
conversations.
We
and
get
it's
real
good.
into it.
And
Yeah.
but then when we part those days, it just feels so good.
Yeah.
Sharing yourself, and I think
Yeah.
that's important for establishing new friendships, is letting people see who you are.
I think so. It's funny because I was having a conversation over a texting thing lately, and I just, when we were done, I said, I think we've just been through therapy. We just been through some sort of therapy.
Right? Well, and
But
it's
that's not bad.
it's
No.
therapeutic.
That
Right.
is
What it
good.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Because it puts us on the right track, because when you're thinking or you're depressed or whatever, you're just going into so many different avenues that you can't pinpoint, oh my God, I'm just crazy.
Well, but then you're in your head, and see, when you share with others, it cuts those worries in half.
Yes.
That's
Because
true.
you realize that you're not the only one having those worries.
Exactly.
That
But-
you're talking to whomever you're speaking to,
Mhm.
and they're kind of relating on what your conversation is, and in your conversation you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one
Right.
Yeah.
that
See,
is
that's
going
why you
through
need
this.
others.
But if you
That's
never
why you need
share it,
friends.
Yeah,
If
you
you never share it, you never know
Right.
that other people are just like me.
That's right.
That's
People
right.
need people. People
That's right.
need
We
people.
know that one, don't
Yes,
we?
we
People
do.
need people.
People need people.
The big thing is that I just recently I read an article and it said the best thing for older adults to make them happy is to have conversations with
Yes.
people.
Yes.
You know, and
It is, and boy, we get into some.
We really-
we aren't telling you,
And,
but we
you know,
do. We get into some good stuff.
when I lived in Alabama, we had a discussion group where we were talking about news
Yeah.
and stuff. But we met for 8 years every Thursday morning, and the people didn't want to miss it. You know, I mean, they didn't want to miss it because
They
we were
needed
just
that.
going to sit and talk
Right.
to each other.
Right.
And so, if you're living in a place that you can do that,
Yeah.
like us here at the Highlands, we have our building gets together for little
Yeah, we
things,
love
and
that.
and we see people in the hallway, I mean, that you get an opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're living alone, if you had your iPhone or your computer or your telephone, you can
Communicate that
yes,
way
with
too.
somebody that you know that maybe needs you just as much as you need them.
Right.
The other thing about apartment living, too, is that, I was really, after you established yourself here, I was really glad that you never bought that condo or never bought that house. And, there's lots of people that are in a phase of life where their kids are probably thinking, we've got to get mom or dad out of the house. And the parent doesn't want to do that. But I mean, this is a testament to how your life can really blossom after leaving your home and
And
going
it's
into
hard.
a community.
Yeah, it's a real scary thing for older people like us to leave their houses and.
It's your
I-
comfort zone.
Yeah, it was
Let
like,
you know. Yep.
perhaps it was probably easier for me than it was you, Angie, in that I had already done that. I had moved from where we were down here, and then we bought a house with my son and his wife. But then I needed the help, but after my husband passed, I stayed there, a year and a half or something. But it was like, I'm living their life.
Yeah, I've got to get
Yeah,
out of here.
right.
Yeah, and they're nice people, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
just,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to live my life.
And the
Absolutely.
thing
And
is,
I
here, even in the winter, okay,
Yes.
was where we
Yep.
live.
Or
You either don't go out,
Right.
but the good thing about the Highlands here is that you guys can just walk down the hallway.
we do.
You can have
It's
your
like a-
little gatherings. You can
Yeah.
watch football,
Right.
You
You
can
don't
do
have
whatever,
to go
and-
anywhere.
right?
Right.
And you just walk down the hallway.
And we
to-
love
and
that.
that's a beautiful thing. I
It
love
is.
that.
And
That's
that we're
great
very-
living.
And everybody's very respectful still, I think,
Yeah.
of everyone else.
Yeah.
Because, we always shout out, say, if you're not doing anything, come on over for a glass of wine
Yeah.
or whatever.
I mean, how
And-
cool is that?
That's
I
so
know.
cool. I mean, it's opened my eyes to, if I want to get
We
rid
gotta
of
get Angie because I'm
My
foolish.
stomach is growling.
If you hadn't brought it up, nobody would have known.
No.
I know.
No,
You
it
never know.
interrupted my train of
Yeah,
thought
it's-
here, Mom.
That's so funny.
You guys.
And we're not editing that one out.
No. We
But
can't.
you can't because this is what it's about.
That's
Yes.
what it's
Laughter.
about. Yes.
Being
Right,
with
and we
people.
try to do a lot of that.
Laugh.
I mean, maybe it's, and it's not put on. I mean, we really
Well,
just
it's really
laugh
cool.
at each other,
Yeah.
And that's why we thought, well, we could do this,
Yeah.
even if we didn't know how to do it. We could do this, and we're going to get better
Yes, we
and
are.
better and better.
We're gonna have more people on and different
Yes.
thoughts on everything. I can't see the clock from here. Can anybody see it? Because have we gone over our 20? I mean, we try and keep it to
it's
20
at
minutes.
29.
Oh my
Well,
God.
we may
my.
have to extend this one because this has been really fun.
Oh,
and we
it's
really
been great. And
appreciate
we're just really so
Yeah.
happy that you can send it, because I thought, oh, well, they want to be on a podcast.
Yeah. And Cindy says, do you think we're going to be able to keep this going?
I know. I'm out here. I'm like, how are we going to keep this conversation going, and then I must have forgotten somehow who I'm with here.
You must have.
It's been
Talkers.
wonderful.
Yeah,
been wonderful.
it's been great.
Well,
Thank you.
we appreciate your staying with us today and hearing all about how there's acceptance of family and the things that you do, regardless of how big or little it is. And remember to give us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And subscribe. That's
Subscribe.
really
It doesn't
important.
cost you anything, right?
Right. And we're going to be giving you many more guests on our show too. So
We
thank
got
you
some
so
good
much for
stuff
joining
coming
us.
up. We got some good
And
stuff
remember,
coming up.
it's always between you and me.